Okay.
Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Commissioner Johnson is joining us via Zoom. Good morning, Betty.
Good morning.
Ms. Karen, our Finance Director. How are you this morning? What do you
Doing
have?
well, and how are you? Very good, thanks. The county checkbook has $73,728.16. The jail has $70,615.05. We have borrowed a total of $2,445,000 on the TAN. We should be at 38% expended. The county's at 35%, and the jail's at 35%.
Sounds good.
Commissioner Johnson, do you have any questions for Karen?
Nope.
No?
None. That's all, Karen?
That's all. I didn't know if you wanted to file that and then go over this.
Sure,
We can do
sure.
this
I
first,
will
right?
make a motion to accept the finance director's report.
I'll second it.
Karen's report. Any further discussion on that? Seeing none. All those in favor, please say aye. Wave. Karen, what does that mean?
The internal controls I've updated because the last time they were done was 2018, and I had to change some of the wording going through. And thank you for catching.
I don't want to change it.
Share. And I just need you to. I gave it to you guys ahead of time so you can read it.
Yeah.
And it
Yeah.
just needs to have your signature.
Okay.
on it.
I'll entertain a motion to accept and sign the new internal control policy, which we've updated from the 2018 version.
So moved.
It's been moved. Betty?
Second.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all of those in favor?
Aye.
And there's just one other thing I wanted to go over. I've reached out to Camden National because sometimes all I have is checks to deposit. And for the purchase of the check scanner, I can do deposits right here. And where we're government, all fees are waived. It's just the purchase of the scanner. And I didn't know if I could get your permission to take it out of technology and then put it in my budget next year to pay it back.
How much is it?
Anywhere from 500 to 700. I wanted to get better ones so that I didn't have any problems to scan them in. And that just saves running to the bank. The only time I have to go is when I have cash.
You say that again.
It's a scanner to do deposits from here to the bank.
Okay, yeah,
Instead of having to run to the bank, some days I have like 50 to 75.
yeah,
bucks.
yeah,
And where we're government, the $55 a month fee is waived.
yeah.
And then they have 30 cents per transaction, but that's all
Yeah.
waived because of our agreement with Camden National.
Yeah.
It's just, we just have to buy the machine.
So when does the money find their way to the account?
The same day as like I went to the bank.
Okay, let them know. No problem with me.
Yes, she doesn't, there's nothing in her budget. So are you going to put that in your budget
I'll put
next
it in my
time?
capital outlay for next year, whatever it costs.
We've got a significant capital outlay now.
That's my license. And I've still got 2 more fees coming up that have been paid.
Okay. And
I
you
might
figure,
be able to do it out of this year. I won't know until all of those are done.
Karen,
you want to take,
That from-
I'm
Okay.
sorry.
can Karen move her microphone a little closer?
I'm sorry, I pushed it away.
It is
Okay,
rather
thank-
intimidating.
So did you need me to repeat anything?
I don't know. I think I got the gist of it. So,
I'd just be doing the deposits versus running to the bank.
Kind of like those people that are fancy and take a picture with their
Yes.
phone.
all right.
And that
Okay.
uploads within a day. I do that.
Okay, so
Yeah,
to buy a scanner for the finance office and take the money from reserve account 0162.
0265. You gave the revenue side.
I'm sorry, I gave you the wrong number.
Which-
0265, which is technology.
And then they'll pay it back either this year or I'll put it in next year's budget.
Okay.
Pay it back.
I'll entertain
Yeah.
that as a motion.
So
A
moved.
motion's been made.
second.
Second,
Thank you.
excellent. Any further discussion on that? Seeing
No.
none, all of those in favor, please say aye.
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 Excellent, thank you. Thank you, Karen.
feel like add
Okay, on to the warrants. We've combined all the warrants, which still confuses me and I struggle with it. But anyway, so it's
They're
large
all
totals.
listed separately if you. look
Right
at
up. I know, but I'm used to multiple ones. The first one is for the county's accounts payable and reserve warrant, and the total is $246,796.39.
No, I think you gave the wrong number. You said 246.
$264,796.39.
Yeah.
So moved.
Okay, sorry.
I didn't even catch that.
I didn't either. I still haven't caught it, but okay, thank you very much, both of you for catching that.
That was moved by Commissioner Johnson.
Certainly. Yeah.
I made the motion.
Okay,
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
The second one is MCRRC accounts payable and reserve warrant for a total of $128,219.41.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. It's because I'm
Aye.
trying to balance two papers and make sure they're both the same on them, so I apologize. Commissioner Johnson, can Karen use your stamp on the warrant?
Yes.
And on the internal control policy?
Yes.
Thank you very much. Do either of you have anything for Finance Director Karen Trussell?
No.
Thank you very much. Nine ten. We're almost on time. Chief Trundy, good morning, sir.
Morning, Chief.
You for meeting with me this morning. I don't think I have anything that will take a tremendous amount of time. I will start with, I have three things. First, I'll start off with the good news. I
Thank you
have
very much.
a final appointment for deputy sheriff. And if this one goes through, it should have us
At
fully
full
staffed
capacity.
for the full first, at least on the patrol side for the first time, sustainably anyway, for several years. So the individual that we are submitting to you is Louis Dyer, the fourth. He's from Belmont, lifelong resident here of Waldo County and the Belfast area. He currently is employed as a Belfast police officer. We would like to bring him on at the 5-year certified pay step, which reflects the years of experience that he has as a police officer with Belfast. He's actually currently a sergeant in the police department, although he'll be coming in with us as a patrol deputy. We'd like to bring him in at the 120 hour or 3 weeks of vacation a year. And he is eligible for our sign-on bonus.
Say that again, Chief.
He is eligible for the sign-on bonus.
The constraints to that sign-on bonus, Jason? I mean, do they get a portion up front and so much down the road?
Yep, we will pay half of it up front when, well, I say up front, they have to complete their field training program. So they have to come in, complete the 300 hours or somewhere in the neighborhood of 300-hour PTO program. Once they've been signed off to actually go on to service themselves, they're eligible for the first half of that payment. And then once they've graduated their probationary period and become a permanent employee of the sheriff's office, then they become eligible for their second half. 1
Period.
year.
Pardon?
1 year.
Make a motion to accept the request by the chief and approve the candidate.
Yeah. A motion's been made. Commissioner Johnson?
I'll second it.
Is there any further discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
That's good to be finally full. chief.
It is. One more on the correction side and we'll have a full house on both sides. So
Yeah,
we're hopeful to fill that one soon. We appreciate the commissioner's support. Without your support, that wouldn't be the case.
well, the other thing is that there's a lot of competition out there today, and it signifies that our program is working well.
I believe it is. I believe it is. So, the second thing I had was during the last meeting that I was here, we had a conversation around applying for the COPS grant. And we outlined some of what that would look like. You guys preliminarily agreed that we could seek out someone to help us with the grant writing aspect of it. And
You didn't even have to walk out of the room.
no, I didn't even have to walk out of the meeting before we had an offer. I have made contact with Laura, and she has sent an agreement, and I know the sheriff sent you guys an email outlining a little bit of like what her cost would be, kind of generically. I have an agreement that she has crafted that just kind of outlines the arrangement, business agreement we will have with her to basically work with me to craft that grant to apply for the COPS grant. And so I have a copy of the agreement. And I think the sheriff may have emailed that down to you folks as
We have
well
a
to look
copy
at
right
in
here.
advance, willing to sign that. And so I can get that returned to her. She's already started at least attending some of the online trainings to try to learn. Each one of these grants tend to have their own platform and their own structures. And so she hasn't done a particularly a COPS grant per se before. So she's taken some classes already to learn that format. And she seems pretty confident that we can craft it in the next couple of weeks and have something submitted that will be competitive.
This is exciting. And I responded back to the sheriff, and I don't know if it was a reply all. If it was, I apologize, chief. When this was sent, there's going to be multiple grants. I think you're going to find coming out. They've released more of the ARPA funds specifically earmarked for law enforcement. And I think it's going to be a grant process in getting it. So this is cool. This is really exciting. Crossing our fingers.
Well, she did say that she's interested in a longer term relationship if there was a need across the county for a grant writing, and that she was willing to negotiate fees if it became a more steady relationship. So this is, I think, will be a great opportunity to test out the relationship between the county and her and see how it works with this grant. And if it does, may put a grant writer at our disposal.
If I could just say, especially for anybody that isn't aware, it's not that many years ago, I'm gonna say maybe 10, Barb, that the county actually employed a grant writer. And she was quite successful. We were specific to like archives, and she had a specific area, but you know, so this is a good thing. Jason,
I'd make a motion to accept the
got the agreement.
application for the grant writer that the chief proposing.
We better go. I will second that motion. I don't see any further discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Not sure. I'm sure it was an aye. Do we need to sign, or do you sign, Jason? Sir,
I think it'd be your preference. I don't.
It-
It doesn't really indicate
It is
on
when
the
it's not stated.
agreement specifically who it is that's required to sign. So I thought I'd bring it to the commissioner's office where you guys approve the.
well, for the time being, with this money attached, I'll sign it for you. Bill, I'd entertain either we amend the motion or we make another motion for the funding for this. We'd spoken
Yeah.
about taking the funding for this.
Oh, yeah, I make a motion that we take the funding from, we have a reserve account
Yeah.
for the sheriff's department.
Yep.
To take the funding for that location.
Yep, reserve account would be 0262. And I will second. that motion. And No further discussion. All of those in favor? Thank you. What's today?
19.
My God, where did they go?
Good luck with that, Chief. It's,
This is, seriously, this is really exciting. And
Yeah.
like I said, I think you find that there's gonna be a lot more. I mean, they're talking, Jason, and I mean, obviously, in Waldo County, I mean, we've already set aside the money for the cruises that we haven't got for 2 years, but they're talking about additional funding for vehicles, for technology, you know, personnel and so on and so forth. So it was like,
Well, the minute we hear about it, let us know. We'll definitely review it and see if there's something that we can fit in there. And now that we have a grant writer that's willing to work with us, that will certainly make the process much more bearable. Because as I claimed last time, I am not a grant writer. And so
they're
I don't know,
ridiculous.
looking at this entire process, that I could have ever pulled it off by myself. So without the grant writer, I don't think it would have been a successful application. So
No,
So-
it's an art.
it's, even she used the word cumbersome when she looked at the system, and she's somebody that does it for a living. So for somebody who does not do it for a living like myself, I don't know that I ever would have been able to navigate it the way that, I mean, I just trying to
Excuse
get a
me.
log on was a 2-hour process.
Okay, excuse me. Was there a vote? for-
Yes, we
Okay,
voted.
and
to-
I am for that. I'm sorry, I had a little emergency, so had to leave there, but I'm in favor of that contract.
Thank you very much, Betty.
Okay. I'm gonna have to leave again. Is there gonna be another vote?
No, the only other vote that there was, Betty, is the funding to pay for the grant writer. We're gonna take out of reserve 0262, which is a specific reserve line that we have for the sheriff's department.
Okay,
I do have
good.
one
All
more
right.
thing. I do have one more thing.
Yeah, I'm not kicking you out, Jason.
Okay.
Do you need a vote?
I think so.
Jason might need another vote, Betty.
Okay, for the K-9 agreement, right?
No,
No.
that was my fault. I accidentally left it on the agenda,
Oh,
but they
okay,
already
I'm
talked to
sorry.
you
Okay,
about that
I
last
thought-
time.
I thought we had done that.
Yes.
Okay, so I need to go again, but
Okay.
just for a short time, but I don't want to miss the votes.
Okay. We'll wave or holler at you.
Okay, I'm in an entirely different room. I may not hear it. Okay, so text me. All right,
Oh, okay. Thank you,
all
Betty.
right, all right. Sorry.
Would you guys like me to wait a few minutes until Betty comes back?
We've got it.
No, we'll
we
keep
run
going.
Meetings, and it's our duty to
Yeah.
be here and do a job.
Okay. So the last thing is, about 3 years ago, the sheriff's office and BOA entered into a partnership with Healthy Acadia. Healthy Acadia had a coverage area that covered mostly the Hancock, Penobscot, Washington County areas. And they do a lot of work around recovery. So they have a very significant grant that a portion of that grant covers recovery coaching, or paying for recovery coaches. So BOA reached out to them, and they agreed about 3 years ago to expand their grant coverage area down into Waldo County. So about 3 years ago, we entered into an agreement to obtain recovery coaches in Waldo County through this grant that Healthy Acadia has. As part of that, we at the sheriff's office agreed to fund a full-time 40-hour-a-week recovery coach through this grant, which cost us $10,000 a year. And then the grant picks up the remaining cost of this full-time person. And so that has come, we do that year to year. And so it's come up again for that time for us to reconsider whether we want to retain a full-time recovery coach under that grant agreement for the $10,000. When we first came to you folks about that, it was decided then that you folks wanted to use community corrections funds to do that. And so I'm just bringing that back to the table again to see if that's something that we would like to continue in the coming year.
What is your recommendation and sheriff recommendation?
We
You obviously want it, right?
absolutely, yeah,
Okay.
it's a full 40-hour a week position for $10,000. So you're looking for, what's the benefits? Recovery coach. I actually took the training back about 3 years ago when they came to the area. So recovery coach act in a very similar way as peer recovery coaches. And what they are is when you have somebody that's seeking to enter recovery or they're in recovery, you have a lot of folks that face a lot of social barriers to staying in recovery. And oftentimes that means finding housing and all of the challenges that come along with pulling yourself out of addiction and getting yourself stable again in the community. Recovery coaches are people that most of the time have some experience with going through that journey themselves. Either they've come out of recovery and they're in long-term recovery, or they've been closely affected by it. And so those folks act as support for those individuals, someone to rely on to basically assist them in the process of maybe getting some housing or navigating some of the emotional or issues that come along with that journey of recovery. So it's really a support position for people in recovery to keep them in recovery.
Certainly. I worded that incorrectly and I apologize, but thank you for explaining what they do.
Yeah.
I believe restorative justice does some of those same things, perhaps. Maybe
No.
not.
At one time years ago, they had a mentoring program for the men leaving the reentry program, but we've moved away from that model quite a few years ago.
When I spoke of benefits, I mean the benefit package for an employee. If this comes out of community corrections, I'm assuming that this position is listed in the corrections budget,
It is part of the corrections,
but it comes out of the CCA funding.
but it's not actually physically part of our budget.
Okay,
It's a
because it
grant
comes out of
held
this. Okay.
by Healthy Acadia, and they've just expanded the coverage area that grant is available to include Waldo County. So we've never had to include this particularly in our budget, which is part of the reason why we've come to the commissioners each time to say, is this something you would be willing to commit community corrections funding to? Because we do not have it as part of our regular budget.
If it's a 40-hour week position,
Yep.
who pays for their health insurance and their benefits?
That's all
Is-
covered through the grant process by Healthy Acadia. Our contribution to be able to have the person is the 10,000.
That's it.
And right, and
So
then they
they're-
pay everything else.
So they're not our employee. We pay no fringe, no benefit. They are an employee of Healthy Acadia or VOA.
They're employed through Healthy Acadia under the grant, right? They're not, we have no obligation to them.
Oh, yeah.
Sheriff has spoken to me about when we divide up money every year. He mentions this.
That's because you wanted the 10K for the guy.
No, no, I didn't want to take his money.
Yeah, no,
But
that,
I think we should continue it.
oh, no, absolutely. I was just trying to figure out, you know what I mean? Like, who pays?
Oh, yeah.
No, I'll entertain a motion that we
So
continue
moved.
with this. Yeah, a motion's been made to continue the $10,000 grant match with Healthy Acadia for a recovery coach. I'm not sure if Commissioner. Oh, I don't have time for this. I have no problem with Commissioner Johnson voting after. We're not going to keep stopping. So if there is no further discussion, all of those in favor?
Yep.
Aye, excellent. Thank you. I don't mean to be rude. I can't.
That concludes everything that I have. unless you
Jason,
folks have some questions of us.
Chief, not to put you and respectfully, this is not at all a spot. I think I can have a solution, but I don't know if you can. He's contacted me the other night. We had a long discussion. There's obscene amounts of flying styrofoam and trash at their neighbors that's blown all up at their property. Like excessive to the point of like 1,000 of like lids, styrofoam lids, like from that meat packaging or whatever. It's kind of crazy, and I didn't understand it at first. But anyway, they've been to the state police, they've been to the sheriff's department, they've been to the forestry, they've been to DEP, they've been everywhere, and everybody, of course, keeps passing the buck. And they finally, they've even had good deeds rerun their lines to make sure that they're not being jerks. Yesterday, evidently, a vehicle going by jacked up and stopped because one of these styrofoam things blew into the road and onto their windshield. So this person who is, I mean, just like anybody, they don't want to start more trouble with their neighbors, but they're at wit's end. And had contacted an attorney right here in Belfast, a very well-respected attorney, who recommended that perhaps the county commissioners send a letter to the town. Now, we have no authority to direct you as a selectman or a town, you know what I mean? But perhaps send a letter to the town asking them if they might consider paying for the cleanup and then billing this person or putting it, applying it to their property taxes. As a former selectman, we've done something like that in the past, and I have spoken with other selectmen that are considering this. But then my other thought, Chief, was I didn't know if this is a place where our community liaison kind of tries to work through this. Do you know what I mean? I think if I say the name, you're very familiar with it. But do you know what I mean?
Sure.
Do I?
I just had a question. So the debris that's blowing around, is it like trash?
Yes,
Okay.
it is evidently, you know, those Omaha steak boxes that you see,
Yeah.
the styrofoams. These are thousands of lids. I know, I had thousands of lids that this next door neighbor got from wherever, and they're everywhere.
Well, I do have a suggestion. I'm not sure
Please.
if it'll help. I mean, we certainly can have a liaison go out. I mean, I will preface this by saying that the willingness of the homeowner where the trash is located, their willingness to cooperate with these efforts are paramount to whether it's successful or not. Because if they tell us to go away, then that obviously will make the process more difficult. But my mind immediately goes to an organization here in the county called From Above. I'm not sure if you've ever heard of them or not. There are a couple of individuals that are, I believe they attend the local UU church. They started an organization called From Above, and they actually do a tremendous amount of cleanup for people that are struggling. And their primary focus when they started was trying to help folks in recovery, but it's kind of branched out well beyond that. And they tend to help a lot of seniors or handicapped or individuals that have homes that sound very similar to what you have here, people that have hoarding issues. And they've reached some agreements with local trash companies, like I think Pinkertons. They have an agreement with them, and they will go in and volunteer for free to clean up that entire place if the homeowner will consent to them doing it. And they do it at no cost to the homeowner or anybody else. They do it out of the goodness of their own heart. I actually just bumped into the crew, 3 of them that had come in from doing a project in the county. I ran into them at Jack's the other day. They were grabbing a sandwich and we talked for a while. I know at least 2 of the members very well, and I'd be more than happy to reach out to them, put them in contact with this individual through the liaison and see if the homeowner is willing to accept their services. They more than likely make a huge impact on cleaning up a lot of what you're talking about. And if they got a donation from the county or the town to help them out in their mission to do the work they're doing, they probably would be very grateful in that. But they usually do it at no cost.
The homeowner is a younger person who's packed up and moved to Florida. So they're no longer there. They haven't been there for several years. And now I guess there's rats. It's just, oh goodness, but.
Well, even if we could just get even if we could just reach the person in Florida and get consent to go there and do the cleanup. I mean,
Chief, I will get you that information that I have
Yeah.
afterwards. I greatly appreciate it. And I'm sure that Selectman Higgins has jotted down that from above organization because I
Yeah.
know I have.
Yep. They're a
Yeah.
great group. They
That
have very big hearts and they do a lot of work around the county. They aren't often recognized for the work they do, but they are doing a lot of good work.
I think it's
No,
all
This
workable.
is very much appreciated, Jason. I will get you that information after.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Thank you so much.
Yep.
Good day.
Thank you very
Excellent.
much.
Thank you. Human Resources. Good day.
Yeah, only two little things and then I'm done. So less than
Yay.
5 minutes, we'll get you ahead again. I just needed to make sure that you were aware of an end of employment for Thomas Moore II, effective date April 27th of 2022. And the second one is an end of employment for Christine Grober on April 26th of 2022.
Yes, we are aware of the record.
That's all I needed.
That's it?
Yep, unless you have
Could
anything. for
you
me.
condense your report?
Yeah, really.
I know, I'm too talkative. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, really. Good Lord, out of here. Thank you very, very much. Keith Neely, our
talk about.
No, we don't. There's, we'll be able. And I,
Well, some discussions with our contact at CV. We shifted up to 15,000 gallons propane, 5,000 gallons thereabouts. Chris and checked with him, and fortunate propane has not been with a barrel of oil. So current lock-in price would be $1.99.9 for a gallon of propane.
what are we paying currently?
Currently, we were at 171, which was rock bottom cheap.
Right,
I ran it by the state average, and I had it some state average now for a gallon of propane is $3.53. So I mean, at $2 a gallon or a
Yeah,
buck
yeah,
and a
yeah.
half,
sign it, agree, let's do it.
lock it in.
Want a motion?
Make a motion. But I think this is a good deal.
No, I
Yeah.
can't, I truly cannot, I'm
Quick,
I'm
sign.
giddy with excitement
I
at this
hear you.
point. I didn't
So-
figure we'd ever.
I know. So the other, you have to- but I want to go.
Bill is making a motion, that we sign and lock in on the propane. And that is true. Commissioner Johnson,
I second that.
pretty sure that was excellent. That was a second. No further, all of those in favor?
Aye.
Then I
Aye.
Yes.
at our fuel oil situation, and our fuel oil is the Superior Courthouse, which uses about close to 5,000 gallons a year. At current rates, nobody will lock in for fuel oil. Best I can do on the market now is $4.50. Might be able to do $4 a gallon, but that's $20,000 to heat that arc. But I went down and I checked our tank. We've got a 4,000 gallon tank down there. So, and that's got 2,400 gallons in the tank currently. So I was thinking about our contract. Our current contract price with Maritime for fuel oil is $2.35. So I called Chris up and I said, Chris, let's top that tank out because it'll hold 4,000 gallons.
Right.
And let's get that in reserve. The boiler's shut off now. We've got an electric hot water heater. That's the only burden we have. We usually leave the boiler off till September or so. I think 4,000 gallons, if we're cautious, will take us through close to spring of next year. So if we had to purchase oil on the open market, maybe 1,000 gallons to get us through the heating season, we'd have to pay the big price. But I got to tell you that the shift from fuel oil to propane couldn't have happened at a better time.
No
As
kidding.
far as the prices go. So
No, I think he definitely should top off that tank.
Yeah, I think that we're lucky. Maritime is a history of helping us out and being very good and competitive on
Yeah.
price. So I think it's a great idea.
yeah, I've got money in my budget, and I'll just make sure that tank is full. And,
Yeah.
and that's 4,000 gallons to take us through.
That's a good idea.
That's the
That's a
other
good-
problem, Keith, that we have, when that tank gets down low, it's been there for years and years. and
Oh,
years.
yeah, it's got,
There's a
Residue.
word called sludge
Yeah.
that can come into play, so
Yeah.
I think the idea is good.
well, I'm gonna, monitor it closely. If it gets down to 1,000 gallons or so, then
Yeah.
I'm not gonna run it, to the
Yeah.
bottom. So I think it's all pretty good news as far as we're concerned and what when I was doing my projections, I was thinking it was gonna cost us $50,000 to
Right.
heat the buildings this coming year, but it usually runs about 30 grand or so, and I think that's where we're gonna be.
Yeah, that's a good resolution. You did.
That is, that's
Good
excellent.
credit of
Good
working
planning.
that out.
Yep, and I think you noticed that the steps were blown up
I was
out here.
I was gonna ask you, that's a high step coming in.
Yeah,
We can get that replaced.
Yeah, really. It was tricky. Yeah.
I had 2 Saturdays that Bobby and the boys from the reentry center were here with jackhammers and concrete saws. And I want to tell you, those old steps were put together really well.
Oh, yeah.
That was a lot of work to get those out. I've got a little more tweaking, and then they'll bring in the new steps with a crane and set them. So it'll be good.
I was by here on Saturday. I heard that.
It was
Ah.
a mess. So I guess that's all I've got. So
I caught up with Mr. Parks, had a good visit with him.
Oh, good, excellent. I'm glad that you were able to contact.
I said, I want you to go home, put a name on one of those 14s that says Shorey.
We were talking about generators, and Commissioner Shore was having a problem finding one, and I put him in touch with our guy who actually has a few in stock. So
Oh.
I think it's gonna work out good.
Imagine I was talking to someone on the phone and advertising on TV every day of the week. I asked them when I could get a generator. She said, we just got a memo from the company. You stopped taking orders. And Keith, I know Keith, gets generators on Monroe. I called the guy up, the guy happened to have 4 or 5 that just came in. I said, he was
Take
up
one.
in Belfast doing a contract.
Hmm.
I said, drive over to Sisport, do another contract.
Ah. Oh,
So
wow.
lucky.
Yeah, you are. Excellent.
Thank you, folks.
Excellent.
Thank
Thank
you.
you very much,
Good
Keith.
work, Keith.
All right.
IT report. Jason, are you out there?
All right. Been working on our server upgrades that we purchased, the software from Green Pages. So I've been upgrading some of our servers to the new version of Windows so that we're not out of their support lifecycle anymore. Yesterday I had a training class that was a holdover from the conference in Florida. So I got that done and out of the way. That was very useful. I've contacted NDS, which I think is Northern Data Systems.
Yep.
To talk about virtualizing that server that's in the office so we can clear that space out in a long run. Been working on setting up new employees, making sure we have old employees' data cleaned out, their logins for our system, Spillman, Insight. I think that's all I can think of right now. We started deploying the body cameras out for the sheriff's office. We gave them to sergeants and corporals. So there are 4 of those out there now. My plan is to let them run them for a week or 2, see how it goes. And if it's gone smoothly, we'll start deploying it out to everyone.
And are they also the ones that have the cameras that in the cruisers
Yes, yeah,
interact?
yeah. I think Dale Brown doesn't have a camera in his cruiser because I think his is getting replaced. But I still want to get him a body cam just to get him on the new system, because he will be reviewing video footage from his shift. So I want to make sure he's familiar with it. The interview room system came in for the camera. I still haven't heard back on what they're going to do for a deal on that for as far as a discount for the issues we've had with the vehicle cameras. Lisa, our account rep, had talked to me yesterday about doing away with the install cost, which is about $3,000. But I told her I want it in writing to present it to you folks to approve before we, I'm not just gonna.
So this is the same company that was supposed to, per the contract and agreement, was supposed to install the cameras in the cruisers.
Well, this is from Motorola. Then they subcontract the install out. I don't know who does the interview room installs. I don't know if it's a similar company.
But is it part of the package?
Yes, it's
Part of the deal?
yes, yes.
Somebody else puts the cameras in.
Yes, yes, exactly.
And
Yeah.
how many cameras do we have in the cruisers now?
We have 11, I believe, total.
So the company has set up and brought in their people, subcontractors, whatever, to do 11 of the cruisers.
Yes, I believe so. I'll have to double check on that
I'm
number.
just trying
but-
to find out that we've got what we paid for, because I know there was a breach, if you will.
Yeah.
Where they showed up and did some, and then
Yes,
there was
we have,
concern
so,
you were gonna have to do them.
yes, no, the ones that are installed are all up and running. As far as I know, I'm trying to check in with each deputy every week or so to make sure things are still working okay. As far as I know, those are all up and running. And then I believe we have 6 more or maybe 5 more.
I didn't think we were gonna install them all where we can't even get new cruisers.
Well, we have them here. We're waiting for the new cruisers to install them in because we didn't want to have them installed and then pull them out a month or 2 later. So that's where those are. Those are just sitting in a storage room right now. So, and I can get you exact numbers on that, but I believe it's 11 and 5 because I think we ordered 16 total.
As I said, I just wanna, because I had a note that I
Yep.
remember when they had installed a few and then disappeared.
Yes, yes, they're all done and everything, and we're trying to work out how best to make it right, so to speak. So she was talking about giving us the install for free on the interview room system, which is about a $3,000 charge. But I told her I want that in writing to present to you folks. I don't want to just, have something that was said over the phone and then someone changes their mind or that sort of thing. Let's see. Been troubleshooting some network issues over at the courthouse for the DA's office. They weren't able to get online and now they're not able to print. So I'm over there working with them a little bit, trying to figure out what's going on. Working on setting up the new corrections employee and the new sheriff's office employees. Deputy Staples had reached out to me about the intox room. I guess they're getting a new intox machine over there. And we had talked about putting a computer over there so they don't have to handwrite forms. They can type them in. And Bobby over at the jail has said that I think Knox does that and maybe another jail as well. And it saves a lot of time on trying to decipher people's handwriting, where it's all typed in, it's very legible and everything like that. They can scan it and have that sort of thing. So I haven't done anything with that, but that's something he wants to talk about.
Do we have a computer that we could give
Yep.
them, assign for them?
Yeah,
so
I've
they
got
won't
one
pay
that
any-
we can just put in. They're gonna, I guess, Deputy Staples was saying they're looking at that room because there's a big old desk in there right now. And they're trying to figure out what they want in there for a desk, if they're gonna use that or what. So I just told him once that's figured out to let me know and we can put our stuff on there. Working on that, working on an issue at the comm center where they get on their teletype, they get protection orders. And they're supposed to be able to click on them and have them open up, and it's not working right now. So I'm working with Emil Pool and at the state with that, because it's a kind of a part of it's on their end, part of it's on our end. So we're working to troubleshoot that. And then just some website updates.
Jason, just to refresh my memory, Green Pages,
Yes.
what do we pay them for? I mean, it's significant, obviously.
Yeah, no, we pay them. So they're a reseller,
They're a
mostly a reseller.
A reseller.
Yes. So if we want, like the Windows licenses we just purchased, I think was around
55,000.
Yep, that sounds about right. We can't buy those directly from Microsoft. You have to go through a reseller. to
A
buy those.
middleman. Okay.
Yes. So Green Pages is one of the resellers we use. We use them. We use Gov Connection and SHI. So I usually hunt around to see where I can find the best price.
And what else do they do for us other than us purchasing?
They've done, when we get our new virtual servers in last 2 years ago now? No, last year, I think. No, maybe it was, anyway. When we got our new virtual servers in, we paid them to come in and set those up, just because it was gonna be, I think, a 120-hour process. So we paid them rather than having me do it at that point, because I was still fairly new and trying to catch up on other things. So.
Okay.
Yep.
Thank you.
That's all I have for you, unless you have
Thank
any
you.
questions for me.
Commissioner Johnson, do you have any questions for Jason?
No, I don't, no.
No, Commissioner Shore?
I'm all set.
No.
Okay.
Thank you very, very much, Jason. Barb, our county clerk.
Kelly, I don't have a great deal to go over with you. Okay, I think you're aware, you probably saw Rob Hoy's email
Yep.
from May 13th.
Yep.
If you need, I know I gave you each one. I printed one of the proposed maps that I guess LUPC may be proposing. I put that in your box, Commissioner Johnson. And this is for the
Yes.
boundaries, the water boundary between Knox and Waldo County. You already have spoken to the sheriff's office about the Healthy Acadia. You received another notice of layout and taking. This one was considerably larger. I put it out on the table if you want to take a look at the map or not. It's in Stockton Springs. That's what I have for you, other than the minutes, which I sent to you on Monday from May 5th and the special court session on May 16th.
I read them,
Is that a motion?
yes.
Commissioner Shore has made a motion to accept the minutes.
I second
Commissioner
it.
Johnson?
And that's both sets, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any other questions? Seeing none, all of those in favor, please say aye.
I,
Thank you.
Unanimous.
That's all I have for you. Thank you.
You got to have, we're gonna have a break,
Yeah.
break time.
Betty, we're gonna take a quick break.
a break would be good.
Okay. Don't be running off. Commissioner Johnson. Commissioner Johnson, we're back. Did we give you enough time? I hate these stupid microphones. Betty, I don't know if you can hear me. Anyway, we are back. We are joined again by Commissioner Shore, Commissioner Johnson via Zoom. Barb, we're through you, county commissioners. I've had the privilege of putting the chief deputy on the hot seat and speaking with one of our local selectmen with regards to a situation that was brought to my attention. I have nothing more there. Commissioner Shore?
I have nothing to add other than miscellaneous business. We're extremely lucky to have Keith, the knowledge he has about fuel and where fuel can be purchased, and to take that fuel bill and have the foresight to change over the gas 8 months ago is a very, very wise decision in front of the county taxpayers.
Yeah, oh
They're the ones that's benefiting. So
No,
they
that
have a
was,
budget that's somewhere near where the budget was last year, just reversing those quantities is a very, very good thing.
Yeah, and the sooner we can get out of that Superior Court building, the better off the county will be.
That's a great monster.
Oh, money pit. Money pit. All right. Bill, if you have nothing else, Commissioner Johnson, do you have anything to report or anything?
Well, the only thing I would like to ask is if we could consider maybe holding our court sessions around 1 o'clock in the afternoon. That's more workable for me. That's what I would like to ask, if it's a possibility of doing that. So that I can be at the whole meeting. So I can be at the meetings in person and, doing it on Zoom is not ideal. Let's put it that way.
No, and I don't envy you. I will just say at 1 o'clock in the middle of the day, I truly can't do it.
Yeah, good night.
Can we do it
I don't,
later in the afternoon?
Afternoons don't work for me at all, Commissioner Johnson.
Okay. All right. Well, I thought I'd try.
no, absolutely. Thank God that we do have the Zoom capability.
Well, we have to realize these jobs are 24/7.
Oh. Okay. Jeff?
Motion to go into executive session.
No, we've got public comment and we're
Okay.
actually a couple minutes early.
All right, I'm sorry.
Sir, would you
Stepping on
care to join
someone's
us up
toes.
to the microphone?
Morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Matthew Eddy, and I am the new Executive Director for Mid-Coast Council of Governments.
Okay,
You have a few communities that we have been aligned with, and my understanding is a bumpy funding discussion that happened during the last funding period. But I wanted to give you a little bit of an introduction of who we are and what we do, and let you know that there's a fairly strong possibility that we'll be working with some of your other communities as the state, through the municipal planning assistance program, is going to be dividing portions of Waldo County up based on how the old Rockland-based planning commission worked. And so we're going to inherit a few of those communities. We're a service organization that's focused on planning and regional planning. We provide municipal technical assistance through the Coastal Zone Program and through the Maine Municipal Planning Assistance Program. And we match our dues money to increase the services that we can provide for all our communities, small and large.
what communities in Waldo County specific do you serve?
My understanding is Belmont, Lincolnville, Northport, and Searsmont, and Islesboro is considering joining because of some work in some coastal resiliency planning that they are.
Now, is
And
your,
I don't know what the other communities that are going to be added to right now.
I'm trying to understand if you're like a cog, if you will.
We are a council of governments.
Okay, so you're like a cog.
We
like,
are a
okay.
council of
Mhm.
governments. You might have known us as the
Naked.
community economic, mid-coast.
McCad.
Yes.
Bad.
McCad.
Right.
Okay,
And McCad does no longer exist. It was an economic development district. We received EDA funding, and we will continue to do that function, but we've reorganized as a council of governments. And Commissioner Johnson can speak to that a little bit. She was
Right.
involved with that process. We provide grant writing assistance for municipal, for CDBG programs, EDA, Northern Border, earmarking. And we've done some earmarking both for communities and for our county members. Knox County, Saginaw County are both members, and Lincoln County is fast becoming a member. We provide a variety of planning services, tax increment financing, housing assistance, housing development programs, land use ordinances associated with that. I'm sure you are aware of LD 2003, which is a major change in land use in rural communities that rural communities are going to begin to need to address. Transportation planning, sustainability and resiliency through the Office of Innovation. We will be a partner, Council of Governments, with the state organization. We also participate in, our communities participate in joint purchasing through our agreement with GPCOG, Greater Portland Council of Governments. And we provide all levels of land use planning and comprehensive planning services for communities that need them. We're also embarking on a strategic planning process for our region. It's a four-part process that will break the region up into 4 sub-regions: the Brunswick-Saginaw area generally, the Lincoln County area generally, the Rockport area generally, and then we're calling our rural communities, really north of Route 1, and really the smaller rural communities that need a different kind of planning assistance and programming. We intend to begin that process in the middle of the summer, but really do most of it in the fall when everybody's back from vacation. And that's really what I wanted to present you, that we are out there. We are an organization that serves communities, and I am anticipating and will be glad to get you the additional list of communities that we will be serving.
So you also receive funding, I'm assuming, from any of the municipalities in which
Actually,
utilize your services?
in our organization, Knox County funds us for all the communities in Knox County. Saginaw County funds us for all of the communities in Saginaw. Lincoln does not, but as a result of 5 of the larger communities joining, they will be having a vote on our board. And as I understand it, you folks have provided some minimal funding in the past couple of years. And the other membership communities we have are the Brunswick, Harpswell, communities that are in Cumberland County, right on the southern border, that provided. If Islesboro were to join, they would join as a member, and then we'd be providing services to them.
So if you receive funding for, you say, for example, Knox County pays, therefore none of, so you receive no funding from any of those
No,
municipalities?
we receive it same per capita basis that we do $1.25 per capita. And the county pays that fee so that all the communities are part of the process and part of the program.
Interesting. Excellent.
It saves an awful lot of running around for us and individual billing for individual communities. And I think it gets a flavor of everybody being a part of the process and gets the communities and counties working together.
Majority of communities in Waldo County, I think we've learned, are with COGS, if you will, whether it's Kennebec Valley or.
Well, Kennebec
Waldo.
Valley is a good example. We're developing a cooperative agreement with Kennebec to share some services and to cross-train and to provide cross-training for communities, and particularly smaller communities that we share borders with.
Cross-training, that's a new interesting word.
Well, in cases where they may have somebody that is, for example, better in sustainability and resiliency planning, and we have somebody that's better in zoning ordinance drafting, we would be able to share our staff to provide the training for municipalities. When we're talking about it, it makes sense.
Yeah, yeah. I
It
always
extends
worry
our-
about duplication of services.
Oh, the idea is
We
that
get too many groups out
the
there.
idea is to avoid the duplication and maximize the services we can provide in the most efficient way we can.
Excellent. Excellent. Commissioner Choi, you have no questions? Commissioner Johnson, do you have any questions?
No, I don't. I'm actually
You're a
active
board
with this,
member.
right? This is my group, yeah.
Okay, excellent. Excellent. If you would leave us with some information, it would be our pleasure to,
I will be glad to send you some information.
that would be great.
Okay.
That would be
And I'll
great.
Communicate through Barbara.
Thank you
Who
very, very
selects
much.
your ties? That's a nice attractive. tie.
Thank you. That's the second time I've had
That's-
that today.
It's actually a
This
funky
is my wife.
Egyptian. Yeah, that's an Egyptian tie. I was like,
It's I was saying, it's a tie my wife got for me at least 30 years ago.
Really?
And it's from Smithsonian when she was visiting
That's why.
DC. And you can't tell, but it's beginning to wear up here and
Yeah.
up here, but I've got it tucked in. so-
No, it's a great time.
No, thank you.
I kept looking and I was thinking I guess I've been to Vegas too many times. The Pyramid in Vegas, and I was like, that's a great time. Well done.
Well, thank you very much. And I'll send you some additional
That would be-
material, and I'll also let you know once I have the inventory of communities who I'm supposed to be providing services for.
Certainly.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a great day.
You
Yes,
as well.
too.
Thank you, Matt, and I'll see you next week.
Yes, you will. Take care.
Thank you.
Say before you go into executive session.
No, absolutely. Like, make sure you speak into the microphone, you speak up.
Thank you for taking the moment to listen to me, but I just wanted to let you know that the Southwestern Waldo County Broadband Coalition did vote this week to set up our own broadband utility district. And right now, we're in the process of putting all of the paperwork together so that we can get an interlocal agreement between the 5 towns. So we're definitely finally moving forward.
Good.
And I wanted to let you know in a formal way that that was happening. I don't have much more to say. I know Jason was in on that meeting as well. I don't know if he has anything that he wants to add to that, but it's basically just information at this point that I thought you'd like to know. And
We
I think
do,
it's going to
we do.
be a benefit for everyone.
Yeah. Well,
This process,
congratulations.
absolutely. This process is insane.
Yeah.
We commend you guys.
Now we've got to go back to our towns and make sure that they don't spend all of the opera money on something else.
Right,
So, because
right.
it's going to be fairly expensive to get everything done, but we do have a good grant writer on staff and,
You have
that
a
works
very
with
good grant
us.
writer. Oh.
And the guy's brilliant. I mean,
Yeah.
you know him, he's brilliant. And, but we're definitely taking, right now, not just baby steps, but regular steps forward. We're not running yet, but
Uh,
if it was up to me personally, we would be flat out running, but we're getting there.
Oh.
So
Good
hopefully,
news.
Well done.
Very good news.
but I just wanted to, keep you folks updated as to what's going on.
Well, thank you. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you.
If no one has anything else, we have an executive session listed. I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
We go into executive session, Title 14056A.
So moved.
It's been moved and seconded. I thank you very much. Betty made, Betty made the motion that we came out of executive session. Bill seconded at 10:55. And
I'd like to make another motion, Commissioner Fowler, that Jason has been with us 2 years. They're doing an excellent job for us. I'd like to make a motion that we change his, was that his
his title,
title to the director?
IT director.
Yep.
Okay.
I'll
Commissioner
second
Johnson,
I second that.
it's been moved and seconded that we change Jason Bailey, our IT person, to IT director or manager. If there's seeing no further discussion, all of those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye,
Aye.
it's unanimous. Excellent.
Slow getting the right page up. So Commissioner Shorey moved and Johnson said.
Yeah.
come out at 11,
And I second it.
at 10:55.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
And I move that we adjourn.
Bill, second.
Second, yeah.
Bill was second. Seeing no further discussion, all those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you all.